When you examine a map of the United States, you may not immediately locate Alaska. Do you know why? Alaska is not contiguous with any other state. As a matter of fact, Canada lies between this northernmost state and the rest of the United States. You might start to question how Alaska came to be a part of the United States when you consider this fact. Alaska is almost 2.5 times bigger than Texas, the second largest state in the U.S., and only 18 countries in the world are bigger than it. It is known for its rich natural resources, including oil, fish, minerals, and stunning landscapes. However, Alaska wasn't always part of the U.S. In 1867, the United States of America made a deal that is still regarded as one of the greatest real estate deals in the history of the world. At a cost of just 2 cents per acre, the U.S. acquired almost 600,000 square miles of land, one of the most beautiful and resource-rich regions on the planet Alaska. When the U.S. purchased Alaska from Russia, many people on both sides were puzzled. There were many reasons behind Russia's decision to sell Alaska to the U.S. In the early 18th century, Russia's Peter the Great formed the country's first navy to explore the coast and determine just how far east the landmass of Asia extended. It wouldn't be long before Russia looked to expand beyond Asia and across the ocean. Siberia, which was known as the Khanate of Sibir and was controlled by a grandson of the renowned warrior Genghis Khan, was discovered by the explorer Vitus Bering in 1741. Who was sent there by Tsar Peter the Great to explore the North Pacific and find new places to colonize. The land was mostly filled with bears, wolves, foxes, and sea otters, making it a perfect place for fur trading. As the fur trade grew in importance in Russia, the demand for furs was increasing. Alaska was seen as a trapper's paradise, a place where the animals were abundant and hunting was easy. The people who made the treacherous journey across the Bering Strait were mostly Siberian merchants and fur trappers. The journey was not easy, and things didn't get much easier when they arrived in Alaska. The region was wild and untamed, even today. The region was challenging to navigate, and the weather was harsh, making the trip even more difficult. Russia's interest in Alaska began to wane as other regions, such as Siberia, became more accessible. The fur trade was no longer as profitable, and maintaining a presence in Alaska was becoming increasingly costly. Additionally, the Russians struggled to sustain their outposts in Alaska due to the harsh climate, and their small population made it difficult to defend such a large territory. At its peak, Russia's Alaskan colony was home to 800 intrepid settlers. The land may have been rich in resources, but it wasn't an easy place to live. Communication was a major problem, considering that they were half a world away from St. Petersburg, and supplies were not quick to arrive from the motherland. So the Russians began exploring further south, looking for other settlements with which to trade for food. Eventually, the Russians sent ships as far south as California, where they traded with the Spanish and even established their own settlement at Fort Ross in 1812 in present-day Sonoma County. That's when Russia thought about selling Alaska. But who would it sell the territory to? When Canada was still part of Britain, Russia considered selling Alaska to the Canadians. However, in the 19th century, since Russia and Great Britain found themselves at odds on many fronts, it made more sense for Russia to strengthen its bonds with the U.S. As for the U.S., part of the motivation for purchasing Alaska was the belief that there may be gold in the hills. But more importantly, it was driven by the idea of manifest destiny that the U.S. was destined to expand across the continent. In 1867, Russia's Tsar Alexander II offered to sell Alaska to the United States for $7.2 million. Or just 2 cents per acre. At the time, many Americans thought the deal was a bad one, calling the region Seward's Folly, after Secretary of State William Seward, who negotiated the deal. They believed that the vast, icy land was nothing more than a frozen wasteland that was too far from civilization to be of any value. However, as time went on, the acquisition of Alaska proved to be a wise decision. It is rich in natural resources, including gold, oil, and timber, and has become an important part of the United States economy. Alaska has also become a popular tourist destination, attracting visitors from around the world who come to see its stunning natural beauty, such as glaciers, mountains, and wildlife. In conclusion, the sale of Alaska from Russia to the United States for just 2 cents per acre is a significant event in history. At the time, it was viewed as a bad deal, but over time, it has proven to be a wise investment. Today, Alaska is an integral part of the United States, contributing significantly to its economy and attracting visitors from around the world who are drawn to its natural beauty. The story of Alaska's purchase is a reminder that sometimes the best deals are the ones that are initially viewed as a folly.